You have someone else ready?
No.
All right, then I'll call Brandy Garrett real fast. Number 89, Ms. Garrett, come forward. This is 21 CR 1767, People versus Brandy Garrett.
Daniel Cohn on behalf of People.
And Robert Spuska, courtesy today, Your Honor. I understand the warrant is still, I think, active, but I believe Ms. Garrett had asked to be added on to address this. She, it looks like, has been bound over in 2 cases to 5G for an arraignment on June 16th. Those are 25 CR 2649 and 25 CR 2644. As this is a revocation posture, I think this case by policy should be transferred over to 5G. And I would ask that the court quash the warrant and allow her to appear on.
Why should we quash the warrant?
She has come to court today, Your Honor, and asked to be added on, and she has been able to post her bonds and the other matters. I think it would be very difficult and prejudicial for her to be remanded on this case while she is trying to handle those other 2 matters in 5G.
What are those? I don't even know if I was told about the new cases.
One of them is, I think, a class 4 second-degree burglary, and the other is a level 4 drug felony. I think are the lead charges in the 2 cases. Were you going to PR bonds in those?
No.
No.
She's got a general offense case, and then she's on probation on a burglary. And she stopped reporting. She's going to be taken into custody. I'm going to enter a no bond hold. The new judge wants to look at the bond in this case, look at the burglary in this case, and the burglary in the new case, and the drug new case in light of everything else. The new judge can set a bond, but I'm going to take you into custody, and I'm putting in I already ordered a no bond hold.
She goes with you.
Back now. Okay.
And what division are these going to?
5G. Judge Trujillo.
Judge Trujillo will give you a bond. When is she set up there?
June 16th.
All right, we'll transfer these over to Judge Trujillo and 5G for June 16th.
Look, this.
I don't know if VRA is an issue, but if it is, obviously the court has indicated she can readdress bond, and that would be Ms. Garrett's request at the next court date.
I'll make a note.
Unfortunately, yes, he's taking you into custody today. I'm sorry. He's put a no bond hold on it. And the court did issue a no bond hold today and did not set any monetary condition for her to.
I'm going to let Judge Trujillo look at the new cases and let her decide, since she'll be sentencing on the revocation.
All right. So unfortunately, it's a no bond hold until the 16th at the very least. Sorry.
Yep, he didn't pound her. He told her. He tells them, you get one chance at this, and then that's it. And what really got this judge over the edge on this one is the way the lawyer started his sentence. The lawyer started this sentence was, these are going to be moved to Division 5G. No. Eric does not like that. Eric does not like to give his cases up to other judges, period. So as soon as the lawyer said that, I knew she was just going to jail. All right, let's see. I really hate when I'm not prepared. Okay, guys, can we please just go through 4 minutes of not the best audio? It's only 4 minutes. If you have to go make a sandwich, go make me a sandwich. If you just can't stand bad audio, I will go through 100 bad audios to see her.
I don't think I can get another attorney signed there.
We maxed out, Judge. They had a hard time.
I know, because even a few people got more than. Let me ask Mr. Grassley, I know you want to get this all resolved. Get this off pretty quickly. Can you come back on Monday?
Because I'm
Or Tuesday?
pretty sure I can. The issue is so I got like $1.12. I live in Webster,
Oh, my goodness.
so I'm gonna have to walk him.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's gonna take me like 4 hours. But
Wait. Just bus doesn't go to Webster.
yeah, it does. Very parking lot, but I got a bus pass whenever I got out. They gave it to me. I think at pre-trial. They gave me a bus pass so I could come back.
Right.
But now
Can we get
I got
another
my
bus
buffer.
pass today?
Yeah, I can send it to 49
We're gonna get you another bus pass.
and can I get you one to come back? One to go there and come back.
Yeah, I can put in a request.
I appreciate it.
Just,
Thank you.
okay. We can handle that,
I appreciate it.
okay?
Okay. We made it through this part. Now listen to her if you can. If you can listen to her. Because this is how this judge rolls every day to all of them. She just gave him 2 bus passes so that he can take care of his court business.
I know you're saying that you got a chance, you want to take care of this because you got a chance at getting the job. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Grice, I know it's emotional. I promise you, I'm here to help you, okay?
I appreciate it.
Okay? I really am. I know that sometimes people end up in unfortunate situations. And you're not, at least with the trespass case, it's a lot better. And I know this what it is. Unfortunately, you can't make those safe havens for homeless. And I know that he's probably had some difficult times. And I'm sorry for what you're going through, but I want to help you get that job and I want to help you get this resolved,
Thank you
okay?
for your guidance.
Okay?
Thank you.
So we're gonna see our hands down. I don't have anything to give you today. They were all, today was a lot. We were going there, not this bad, okay?
You were busy.
Yeah. So you can pick a day next week. You tell me.
I mean, Monday would be best if that's
Okay.
fastest I can do.
And they can give you bus taxes, okay?
Because the 26th is when I'm supposed to go to the DMV. I think in my driver's license to get the car, to get the insurance, to get the job. Because I just want.
Right.
The 26th is not for
So
me.
now your warrant's taken care of.
So Monday would be good. So 26th is Thursday, so it's fine.
Okay. So we're gonna bring, Mr. Bryce back on Monday in Dallas. So we can get him an attorney. And hopefully, even potentially, state, please review for Monday to see if we can get an offer.
Yes,
that can resolve all of this. Do you guys have a rip call gun on the stop case?
It looks like we do.
Okay, good. That means you can at least make an offer. Okay, we're gonna try and get this off, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So, step and see Miss Allen, she'll give you a reset. Then
Okay, if you didn't hear any of that, real quick, this guy, man, he unhoused, no job. I don't know what he's charged with, but the judge is trying, he has to get his license, but there was a warrant out for him, so he couldn't get his license, so he couldn't get, that's what the charge was. He didn't have insurance when he was driving. So he has to show them that he has insurance, but he can't get insurance until the warrant was lifted. So he came in, they lifted the warrant, and now he's gonna go. He's gonna get his license, get insurance, come back in on Monday, and she said she's gonna help him get that job, and get him the bus passes to get here. So she just wants to help him, and he got a little emotional there. It was hard to see, I know, but he did because when she's like, look, I'm here to help you. I want to help you. And she does that with everybody. So, okay. This is way better audio. Don't worry. I hope.
I have entries of appearance.
On your right for the people.
Mr. Peterson approaches the podium. He is pro se. I apologize, Mr. Peterson. We haven't had a lot of breaks, but I didn't look back in my notes where I have that you're pro se. And so I apologize for not calling it a little earlier. We set this matter over for you to have an opportunity to either obtain counsel or speak with the district attorney. Have either of those things occurred?
I haven't spoken to anybody today yet.
Okay,
I think that, this is a probation revocation, correct?
this is a probation
Right,
revocation
so-
case, yes.
The thing that's being the revocation, I have court for tomorrow, which is kind of backwards, I believe.
Okay,
So I tried taking care of it today. I'm halfway done with it downstairs.
so there are other bases for the revocation in addition to the new law violation. Are you still trying to obtain counsel in this case, or are you not going to be obtaining counsel?
Possibly, I mean, I'm not quite sure what's the complaint.
Well, we went through the complaint when we were here
Right.
last time. I can certainly print you
What's
another
the-
copy if you wish to see the copy again. But we set it out because you indicated that you were,
I call him Judge Giant Hand. Because of the camera angle. This is his hand. This is his body.
so actually we've addressed it, not the last time, but we addressed it when you were here the first time on the 3rd or the 7th of March. I apologize. So that was when we addressed the allegations within the apologize. No, it was the 1st of May, when we were here the 1st of May. I don't have any of that in my notes. I apologize. So we are here because you had indicated you may want to retain counsel. And so if you're going to be representing yourself, I understand your request right now, at least what I interpret your request to be, is to set past the date of your new law violation, which is tomorrow. So we'll reset this so that you can see what happens with that case.
Yeah, I think, well, my probation said that it bases off of, they can't do anything until that case was done, so.
Well, at this point, they have filed a complaint in this court, so it's somewhat out of their hands anyway, because that complaint is now being prosecuted by the people unless they intend to withdraw it. But you will remain on probation throughout the pendency of this
Yeah,
case until there's a resolution. Ms. Wright, any record you wish to make regarding what I believe is a request to set this past the new law violation, which is set tomorrow?
No objection to setting it past that date. However, he was instructed by the court to go apply for the PD, and he indicated he intended to do that last month. So if he's not gonna proceed in that fashion, I just want him to understand that when we come back, then he would need to make a decision if he's gonna proceed as his own counsel for any evidentiary hearing that's set.
What was the PD?
I'm not sure he's ever qualified for the PD. The notes that I had is that he was going to hire his own private counsel.
Okay, because the note I have, and I wasn't a person that took the last note, it just says defendant is going to apply for the PD, and that was on May 1st. So, it doesn't matter to me. I just want him to understand that if he wants counsel, he needs to get counsel on board. And if he's willing to go pro se, that's fine too.
Okay, so what we'll do, Mr. Peterson, is we're going to set this case over past your new law violation. If you wish for the public defender's office to represent you, you need to go and apply for those services. If you want to retain your own counsel, you need to retain your own counsel before this next date. Otherwise, I'll be advising you on what it means to represent yourself in this case.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's set this out a few weeks.
And just for the court's information, this is Ms. Farot's case, so any Wednesday, Thursday is fine.
Okay.
You Wednesday, June 25th.
I'm going to say yes, and if she has conflict, she can advise the court.
Does June 25th work, Mr. Peterson?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll see you back here June 25th at 8:30.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we call Mr. Andrade, please?
Yes.
Guys, you think he's gonna get a lawyer? Think he's even gonna attempt to try to get any kind of lawyer for this? No, I do not. I just have so much. I don't know if I'm going to have time for everything. So I shouldn't play this one. I should get to the good stuff. But I want to play this one anyway. I'm going to sneak a YouTube judge in, guys. Yeah, I am.
Yeah. All right.
He's waiting right now. And we're gonna wait with him. And he's not a good waiter. He's very impatient.
Well, we lost Potter County Video. Did you get an answer, Nathan?
Still looking.
Yeah, I turned
All
it
right.
off. Wait.
Now we're back.
He's waiting for a
This reminds me of
prosecutor.
the time that my dermatologist put me on hold. I was on hold so long, I got in my car, drove to the office, stood in line. And when they asked me what I wanted, I said, I've been on hold 35 minutes. I want you to answer your phone. They were unimpressed, but they get to talk to them.
I'm also unimpressed, Judge. That's rude.
Guess that's the beauty of living in a small town.
Found a DA they're getting on now.
Ooh, I'm hot. Glad I don't have a beard.
Me too.
That's what I thought the answer was. I just wasn't going to commit to it.
He's having a conversation that happened sometime a while ago.
Mm-hmm. All right, now we got.
Hey, Judge,
Two
we were
Potter-
sorry. I'm filling
No,
in
we
at the
have a
last
Potter
minute.
County prosecutor. We don't have a felony prosecutor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm here, Donna. You can log off.
Oh, you are? Okay, Nathan, I'm sorry. I can do it if you want me to.
No, you're fine.
Okay, thank you.
But if you know one in the district attorney's office, Donnie, you can tell them the answer.
Okay, will do.
No, she won't. So this the public defender is with him often, right? And he tells a lot of jokes and tells a lot of stories. And she's like, she's there laughing at every single one of them, even even if they're not funny. She is there every day laughing at the judges. I might skip the actual court case that happens here because it's boring, but there's more at the end. But we're just waiting with him because it's fun to wait with him. He just talks and hums and doesn't
I like
like
how
waiting.
that ghostly, disembodied figure leaned into the focus. It's kind of creepy, very nightmarish. I'm gonna need more coffee if this hearing lasts any longer. All right.
Can you hear him in the background? Yes, it's a one-sided conversation. I'm going to bump to the end, to the good
Yeah,
part
there
now.
we go.
The hearing
There we
is
go. I was
boring.
the
2 years on probation. And they'll file a report of violation. You can.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Ms. Yarborough, any other matter?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, then. Mr. Luiso, good luck. Give a perfect fingerprint to the deputy. Court is adjourned.
Yes, sir.
See you guys. Thank you. Go turn the.
No, Your Honor.
Finally got it right on the last pass. Thank you all. Good luck, sir. Give fingerprints to the deputy. Court is adjourned. See you, Joe.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I have excused.
You may be.
Good luck, Jeremiah.
Good luck, Mr. Benson.
Every time I hear Jeremiah, I still think about that 1970s Grizzly Adam kind of show. Or was that Paul? Who was the Robert Redford? Jeremiah Johnson?
Jeremiah Johnson.
There we go. Is that close to being
I
wrong?
think of a bullfrog, but yes.
That would be my wife's go-to for Jeremiah.
Okay. Thank you all.
Take care.
Signing off.
I love that judge. That judge is so entertaining to watch. I love this judge too. Okay, we played Eric. Love Eric. We played Juanita. I love Juanita. We played Tammy. I love Tammy. I don't remember the judge for the pro se. Oh, that was Judge Big Hand. I love him. I have a whole trial for him coming up. Domestic violence. It's coming up. I promised you guys no trials for a while, but I have it in my pocket. Let's do this one.
No.
Love him.
I did not change anything in that. Okay. Good afternoon.
We did not see this yet, right? I'm pretty sure we have not. This lady needs some help, I think. I think she has a lot of rage, and she is very the victim. She is a very victim is me person.
Getting silence, meaning everybody is still muted. They're probably out there talking, but I can't hear them.
Yeah.
Let's try this. Boom. Yeah, see?
Okay, is it working?
It is.
Okay.
Now it's working for him too. I got to check something here. It's your fault. There's a box that we can pull up where it says mute all.
I love
There's a little box within that you have to check to allow the participants to unmute themselves. Because you allowed them to until you changed it. Because I have been, yeah, I mean, I can go up and say ask to unmute and it'll do that. But now he's muted himself again. So has she. Try it again. Little red microphone, lower right. There you go. See, you both did it on your own this time. All right, so it's on for modification. I have your case and a calculation.
All right, in my head, when he went through the Robert Redford, Jeremiah was a bullfrog. In my head, you guys had a longer conversation about that, which is why I played that, just because he said that. And I got 2 comments that, see, that's in it works sometimes. Oh, wait, 3. Scott, thank you. All right, it worked, just like I thought it would.
Hunter is the only child, yes?
Yes.
All right, I'm told that Hunter is with the mother and does not spend time with you, sir. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. It says you're married, sir. Yes.
Yes.
And
We do have 2 proposed calculations for you, Your Honor.
yeah, I'm looking at one, so I'll just go through that one.
Okay. One of them uses his stated income on his INE. The other one uses the average of his pay stubs for 2025 only.
And you have those?
Yes.
Okay. And that's through what pay date?
That would be through, just a second. I believe it's 5 pay periods for 2025, paid bi-weekly. March 5th is my memory serves me right. I'm pulling it up.
Okay.
March 5th, correct.
So where do you work?
For myself.
Oh,
This is the paycheck he's drawing from the business. There's
you
no,
give yourself a paycheck?
Sir, you can be 100% sure that this angry lady right here hates your boss.
I'm required to.
Are you incorporated?
Yeah.
Subchapter S?
Yep.
Okay.
we do not receive any profit and loss statements.
Yeah, and what you would want to see is a tax return too. How long have you been self-employed? This says since July of last year.
Yes.
Okay. And from the paychecks, your average income is $10,588 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Says that your wife makes $6,667 a month gross. And we don't look at that as a place to get child support, but we look at it to see how it affects your tax rate.
And that's good to know. A lot of people have questions about that. If you get married, why do they ask for your wife's income or your husband's income? You know, do they have to pay child support? No, they don't. But when you add those two together, you're in a different tax bracket. So if that will affect your child support payment big time.
Usually when there's a spouse that's working, your tax rate is higher, so your net is lower and your support is lower. This says that there are 5 dependents on your taxes, you, your wife, and 3 kids.
There should only be 4, not 5.
Okay, and how many?
Kelly, there are a lot.
Oh, this says there are 3 kids. Are there 3 kids, but she's only allowed to claim 1 that she shares with somebody else?
So for section 3D of the FL 150, it currently says 5. I'm guessing that's where you're getting this information.
Why are you sending me Judge Ferguson? We've seen, he is the funniest clip ever. But we played him. But I can play him after this one. You want me to play Judge Ferguson after him, Kelly? Yeah, I'll do that. It's so funny.
Probably.
No, there's no number that is next to that. What we did was we looked at.
What it does show is that you have a wife and you have 3 children in your home.
Yes.
That's where they got 5. One of them being a newborn.
She's a year. Yeah.
Oh. I'm looking at income and expense from February of this year. That's when you signed it, filed in May, and it said that McKenzie is 0 years old.
I mean, we were just in court doing this, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. Maybe that's from that hearing.
It does because it affects the amount of taxes that he has to pay. So he's paying less than, more. Because they're married, they combine their incomes and they're in a higher tax bracket. Because they're in a higher tax bracket, he has to pay more in taxes, so that lowers the child support.
No, I'm looking at your income and expense declaration.
Yeah, she just turned 1 last month.
Oh, okay. So she was 0 because she wasn't 1 in February yet.
Correct.
Okay, and so those are all your children, yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, so it is 3 kids. And you and your wife, so that's 5.
Okay.
Yeah, he has 2 kids from a previous marriage. That's
well,
probably.
She has a lot
do
of
those
anger.
kids live with you?
50-50. Yeah, 50% of the time they do.
Do you claim either or both of them on your taxes?
Just one of them.
So of the 3 kids that are in the home with you and your wife, are 2 of them yours from a different relationship?
Yes.
And you only claim 1 of those?
We're right.
Now we're back to 4.
Which is what he said, Judge.
Do you have childcare expenses for any of those kids?
I do.
Okay, I don't know if DCSS knew about that. Let's see if they did. They did not. Nuts. What do you pay in childcare for your other children?
It's just for the 1-year-old, and it is $1,300 a month.
And I assume that you and your wife are equally responsible for that?
Correct.
Okay. And the reason is that if I use it, that's something that would increase your net income potentially because of the child care tax credit.
Again, taxes.
And
So if he has that child, he gets this tax credit. So he uses the wife's income, puts him in a higher tax bracket. Child support goes lower. But then he has this other child, so he gets a tax credit. So his child support went back up again.
ma'am, you have child care, yes?
Yes, unfortunately.
And you say it's $450 a month?
For the Mary Immaculate, and then I haven't gone below 725 on my total childcare expenses, so I just put I believe I put 725. Summertime it goes up, unfortunately, but yeah.
And you live for the city of Kirksville
Yes, I work at the city.
in Missouri?
Yep.
Michael, do you know her? Michael.
And you just have the one child?
Yes. Yeah, I can't do anymore. I can't afford it anymore.
No, I was going to say you can probably do more, but well, so on average over the course of a year, how much is childcare?
Summertime it's around 900. I never go below 725. So I'm assuming 825 on average.
You live in Missouri. It's not a long drive.
Okay. So I've got your income, 10,588. Ma'am, I've got yours at 4,896. You're buying your home, sir? Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, do you have title to it already?
It is not paid off, no.
Because I'm only showing $615 a month in mortgage interest.
The interest, I'm not sure what we pay in interest.
Do you have a tax return from 2024? And ma'am, you've got health insurance premiums coming out of your paycheck, pre-tax?
Yes.
No, you use no retirement.
The average interest is $22.86
Per month?
Yes.
Okay. How about property taxes? Now you're going to tell me about an escrow account that you have, aren't you?
I do have an escrow account.
Yeah, but that's for property taxes and homeowners.
On here it says real property taxes are 0.
Yeah, we all know that's a lie. Not if you live in California. Do you pay that on your own?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, so it's not going to be on that statement because they're not collecting it and paying it. You are.
Oh, I'm sorry. The property taxes are paid through the mortgage. Yes.
Okay, so how much of the mortgage is for property taxes?
That's a good question.
Because what you told me was 0, and I know that's not true. I think you know it's not true too.
Right.
Because they send you something every year.
Yeah, and property taxes just went up. The mortgage just went up.
Well, you make 16,000 a month combined. You'll be fine, sir. You'll be fine. What would I do with 16,000 a month?
Let's see.
And ma'am, you rent?
I close on my house this week, actually, on Friday. So,
Do you know how much you're going to be paying on property taxes and mortgage interest?
hopefully more than I want. My total payment will be right, just under 1,000 a month.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, I am not going to complain about my property tax.
yeah, no kidding. You said the total payment.
Well, I couldn't afford anything over 120, so I had to. I would like more than one bathroom, but I can't do that. I'd like a bigger house.
Yeah, but I mean, you can double that for California, 1 bathroom.
Yes. Hence the reason I have to. It pays lower, but there's more homes to pick from that I can fix up, if that makes sense.
That's why I know people that have moved out of state, but they work remotely in state.
That's my aunt, and I'm slightly envious of her. I keep applying to come back to California. I graduated last year, and this was the first job I was able to get secure. So,
you graduated from where you live now?
No, I took online classes with Arizona State.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Sir, the escrow tax for that is $737.72
per month.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
She would complain about that too.
Do you know the breakdown for yours?
No, I don't, honestly. I haven't. I officially sign Friday. So.
And I can't afford the pen to sign with. So,
All right. So the guideline amount of child support is $1,822. Child care is $507, all effective June 1.
I would be thrilled.
Total is $2,329.
Oh my God. I can't imagine getting that much child support. I had 3 kids.
All right, that'll be the new order.
I really wish she was able to talk.
You both got a copy of this in the mail.
She has a lot of anger, and a lot of times they explode in this court, and she just didn't. And I feel like we would have got a lot from her. All right.
Anna versus Robert Melendez Lopez.
2,300.
Sir, raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm under the pains and penalties of perjury, the testimony that you provide to this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
Thank you. Please tell me your full name.
Robert Melendez Lopez.
Thank you. The court shows that the defendant appears in person and also with Attorney Kelly Schweinsberg. The state of Indiana appears by DPA Samai Hassan. We are set for sentencing. There was a pre-sentence investigation report filed on June 5th. Ms. Schweinsberg, I don't know where we go from here because your client has equivocally denied that he committed the offense to which he'd already pled guilty.
Yes, Your Honor, we have discussed that. We can do a new factual basis if you'd like. Your Honor, the day that
Remember how mad she was at the couple from yesterday? If you saw yesterday's stream, she was really mad. Well, this guy, his crimes aren't as heinous. Well, no, they are. Anyway, she's really mad at this guy. She's really mad at this guy.
when we came for the last sentencing, he had missed his pre-sentence investigation appointment, and then he was sent up to probation to do another report that day. They wanted to do the report that day, and he didn't expect that was going to happen that day. He had someplace to be. They insisted that he do the report that day. That wasn't making him happy, and so I don't think things went as well as expected that day. And so that's part of the issue. We did have a discussion about the things that he stated in his pre-sentence report. We had further discussions this morning. He does want to proceed with his plea agreement. We can do a new factual basis if the court would allow. He is.
Oh, the court might not allow because he said he didn't do it. So see this courtroom? Guys, you're never going to believe this. This is the coolest thing ever. One of the vibers actually has a case in this courtroom in front of this judge coming up. Now, I did not ask them to give me more details. I did not ask them if they want me to get it and show it, and I will. So if you're watching and you want me to show it, just leave a comment again in the video, or go into Discord and DM me and let me know. Because if you want me to show one of our vibers in this courtroom with this judge, and this viber, like they said that strict but fair and had no issues with this judge at all. And they also said, I think that the courtroom, I think, is brighter than what we see. And it looks pretty bright in this video, but lots of videos, it's really, really, it looks really much darker. But that would be so cool if we actually had a court case with one of our vibers, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be so cool? Anyway, I'm not gonna say who it was or anything. I'm not gonna try to find it. I'm not gonna do that at all. Unless they tell me, yeah, go for it, then I'm going all out.
Accepting responsibility for the things that happened that day. And
Okay, I already have some concern about how successful you're going to be on probation, sir, because in looking at the probation memorandum that was filed with the court back on April 28th, it looks like there were multiple attempts to get you scheduled for your pre-sentence investigation report, and that just didn't work out. And now when you went up to probation, you were surprised by the fact that they wanted to be efficient and go ahead and do your pre-sentence investigation report. So you were angry and provided some really dumb statements. So this is already a bad start. And Ms. Schweinsker, I certainly respect that you want to try to salvage the plea agreement. And if we were putting you through the terms of probation, I'm sure that you would be compliant. But it's not you that I'm worried about, it's your client. And despite your best efforts, I'm just not sure that probation at this point in time is appropriate.
Well, one of the things that Robert, we talked about out in the hallway was that, he's got a great opportunity here to earn a misdemeanor, but that's all going to be on him. So if he doesn't cooperate with probation, he doesn't show up, he gets a violation, he's going to end up with a felony. So, I do know that that's a big carrot hanging over his head to be cooperative and he doesn't have a criminal history at all. And so, this plea agreement does result in quite a few misdemeanor convictions because he's pled to everything. But
but it does also give him a chance to earn a misdemeanor, but it's all gonna be up to him whether he does it or not.
And Ms. Schweinsker, we're on the same page, that this is a favorable plea agreement in that he has some opportunities here, not only to have any felony reduced to a Class A misdemeanor, but also to complete this on probation. But I'm always worried about how bad does somebody have to violate probation? Is it a matter of just you don't pass a drug test, or you commit a new serious offense? So that's the concern that I have. Ms. Hassan, let's hear from the state.
I guess I would like to know if Mr. Morales Lopez would be able to make a new factual basis on his stay at this point. And I agree with Ms. Schweinker that if he was on probation, it would be up to him to earn that misdemeanor, and the state would be hopeful that that would serve as sufficient motivation, but I agree that based on the PSI at this point, I'm just not sure.
I'm concerned with not only the PSI, but his prior lack of cooperation with probation and just getting the PSI done. So Ms. Schweinsker, I will allow you to attempt to reestablish the factual basis. I may have some additional questions. The state may have additional questions, and we'll go from there.
Okay, Robert, get back to the report. You recall this day, this occurred on June 3rd of last year. You were at Pringle Park in Goshen, correct?
Yes.
And you and Cassandra Cedino have a child in common, is that correct?
Yes.
You have an 11-month-old by the initials AM, correct?
Yes.
And you two were at the park with the child, and you were wanting to leave the park with your child, and she was telling you, no, that wasn't going to happen. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you were upset about that because she wasn't trusting you to take the child alone, correct?
Yes.
So you were attempting to take the child into your possession, and during that situation, do you admit that you touched Cassandra in an angry manner?
Yes.
And your child was obviously right there in the middle of it, correct?
Yes.
And that by doing this with your child being present, you were putting your child in a situation that could have endangered your child's health or life, correct?
Yes.
And she also had some of her family members present that day at the park, is that correct?
Yes.
And they kind of got in the middle of all of this, is that correct?
Yes.
And one of them was Maria Cedino, and the other one was Maria Ramirez, is that correct?
Yes.
And do you admit that in the midst of all of this, that you also had touched them in an angry manner?
Yes.
And then lastly, on the criminal recklessness charge, do you admit that you performed an act that created a substantial risk of bodily injury to another person?
Yes.
So the date that this all occurred, that was the situation that had occurred at the park. And then you had ended up leaving in your vehicle, is that correct?
Yes.
What is the current, can you explain to the judge the current situation with your child and Cassandra? Do you have a parenting time schedule now?
Yeah, every day.
You see your child every
I
day?
see my child every day. Yes.
Okay. And have you and Cassandra set up a parenting time schedule between yourselves, or have you been to court?
No.
It's just the two of you have worked that out?
Yeah.
Okay. Are the two of you together now, or are you just getting along for the sake of your child?
We're like just, I guess you can say like we're trying to work things, if that makes sense.
Trying to work things out for your
As a family,
biological family, and for the child too.
Okay. So how do you feel about what happened that day?
I mean, I just wish things could have gone different that day.
Do you accept responsibility for what you did that day?
Yes,
Do you realize that your actions were inappropriate?
yes.
And what could you have done differently?
I just feel like I should have maybe just try to talk things out instead of just getting all mad really quick.
And if the judge does agree to accept this plea agreement and you're placed on probation, are you going to go to probation when they tell you to?
Yes, I will.
Are you going to go get an evaluation if they ask you to do that?
Yes,
And if the evaluator says you need to take some classes, are you going to go to your classes?
I will. Yes.
Are you working?
Yes, I am.
Where do you work?
I do construction work.
Okay. So you have the ability to pay for classes and pay for probation?
Yes. I'm not working a lot of hours, but it's possible. Yes.
I don't have any other questions right now, Judge.
Does the state have any questions?
Just briefly, Your Honor, Mr. Melendez-Lopez, do you agree that your actions contributed to what happened on June 4th, 2024?
Yes, I do.
It was not just the victim in this case, it was you as well, correct?
You said it's not just the victim in this case, it was you as well.
I'm not sure if I understand the question either.
I guess I'm pointing out in the PSI, you stated that maybe some other people were causing you to act this way. Do you still agree with that statement?
Did like they were egging you on or making you do this? Or was it was anyone else, like, are you blaming this on someone else that they caused you to do this, or was this you?
This was me.
Okay.
Thank you. That's all I had.
Okay. Ms. Schweinsker, I don't have any questions on the factual basis. I may have some questions for your client during elocution. We'll see. Go ahead and make arguments.
So Judge, I think that, Robert is 21 years old and he has a now, she's almost 2 now.
Next week.
Yeah, this was happened over a year ago. So she's almost 2 now. And there's been no other issues since this incident. Sounds like he and the mom have kind of figured out how to make things work. It probably would be a good idea if he were to establish paternity through the courts and probably get some court orders in place. I can certainly assist him with that if he would be interested in that. That may help guide some things, especially if they get off track again in the future. But it sounds like there's not been any, protection orders filed or any additional criminal activity between the two of them, and that maybe this was a one-time situation that did get out of hand, and Miss Sedina's family members being present that day as well. I think that
not only did he beat her in front of her family. Not only did he beat her in front of her family, when they stepped in to help her, he beat them too. He's 21.
Robert having one juvenile case contact with the court system, he is learning the seriousness of coming to court, being in court, court orders, listening to the judge, following, what superiors tell him needs to be done, when to show up, what to do. And that those are serious things and you can't take them for granted and you can't thumb your nose at them. And so, you know, as we kind of already touched on, he doesn't, and he explained to me out in the hallway, he doesn't want a felony. He does not want a felony. But he also, and I made it very clear to him, he's going to be the only one that's going to be able to prevent that from happening. So he has stated here today that he is able and willing and wanting to abide by the court's orders, the terms of probation. If they tell him to get an evaluation, he will do it. If they tell him to go to classes, he will do it. He's working. He has the means to pay for it. And he is telling this court that he will be successful. So I hope that that is the truth. And I hope that we can see a year from now, or when probation is over, that we'll see an entry on the docket for misdemeanor for Robert. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Melendez, is there anything that you'd like to say on your own behalf?
No.
Arguments from the state?
Thank you, Your Honor. Based on his reestablished factual basis and the representations of Mr. Schweinsberg, the state is possible for to accept the plea. He doesn't have any other adult criminal history and scored a 2 on the ODERA and is a moderate risk to reoffend. We're hopeful that while on probation, he can, through programming, learn some appropriate conflict resolution skills. And if he's not successful on probation, we're hoping that any violations in place can address that. And if he is, he may earn a misdemeanor if all goes well. Based on the facts of the case and the criminal history, we believe that the plea is appropriate and asking you to accept it.
Thank you, Ms. Hassan. Mr. Melendez, on its face, the plea agreement is appropriate. Both the length of it, the way that you are going to serve it, the risk factors that.
And now the judge gets to talk. And we love when this judge talks. I'm going to put out a video later on today of this judge, just as good as she was yesterday with someone else. But you're going to love when she talks.
That are here, everything about this says that it's appropriate, except I just don't completely understand, your comments and your attitude. Mr. Melendez, it's tricky, I'm sure, trying to navigate parenting with the child when you and the mother are not together, family members are involved. I know that that gets tricky, it gets complicated. And I've seen many cases, not only in criminal court, family court, personal life, where other family members overstep their boundaries potentially. I have no idea if that's what was happening here, but that is something that is normal, that happens in relationships. The challenge that you have is that under the laws of the state of Indiana, because this child was born to parents who are not married, the mother controls everything. It is her call, unless or until, as Ms. Schweinsker was trying to gently suggest to you, unless or until you go to court and legally establish parenting rights. Mr. Melendez, you seem like you want to be an involved father, which is good. That is a good thing for your child to have a father involved. But there are other ways to handle these situations other than just taking the law into your own hands. I think about the fact that this happened at a park in the summer. Presumably, you were not the only people that were there at the park. There are other families there trying to enjoy a summer day at the park with their children when this breaks out. I could try to imagine being there with my children, which I love to go to Elkhart County parks and local parks, being there with my children and seeing this break out, and that would have been frightening to anybody who would have seen that. So you have to think about how your actions impact not only your child, but the mother of your child, family members, as well as other members of the community. Mr. Melendez, you're young. You are a young father. My parents were 18 when I was born. I know what it's like to be raised by young parents, and it's like you're growing up with them. Mr. Melendez, I suspect that you would benefit greatly from a parenting class. I suspect that you would benefit greatly from classes or programming that just helps you think about your actions before you take actions. Because you are so young, as long as you are trying and you are acknowledging that you messed up here and that you can handle things differently, I can work with you, even if you have some stumbles along the way. But I will guarantee you that if you do not fix your attitude and resign yourself to the fact that you probably could do things different, even if other people were wrong around you. You know, one thing that my parents used to always tell me is that 2 wrongs don't make a right. Okay, so your wrong actions combined with their wrong actions doesn't mean that it resolves the situation. So you are responsible for your actions and your actions alone. And if you change your mindset, we can work on that. Agreed?
Yes.
And you're going to do that?
Yes.
Mr. Melendez?
So when he got picked up for this and went in front of the judge, they tried to do a plea deal, but he said he didn't do anything wrong. And the problem was he did this in a park where other children were, and they all watched this happen. They all watched him beating on her. They all watched him beating on her family. Then he has to do this PSI report. Judge sends him to get a PSI report so she can sentence him. And he was horrible to the people trying to take the PSI report. And the answers that he put on the PSI report were horrible. So she doesn't want to take this. She doesn't want this plea deal to go through, because she doesn't think that he's going to listen to anybody. But they're going to try.
I hope that you are sincere in what you are saying. And I hope that, again, you work through these things and you do things properly, because again, it is a good thing that you're involved in your child's life. And I want you to remain in your child's life, but that's really going to be, I think, up to you and how you handle this. So based upon the information provided, I will accept your plea agreement and sentence you according to the terms of the plea agreement. The plea agreement calls for an aggravated sentence. Because that is an agreed upon aggravated sentence, the court will decline to make any findings regarding aggravating or mitigating circumstances. So I will start first with count 2, neglect of a dependent as a level 6 felony. The aggravated sentence referenced is 540 days at the Indiana Department of Correction. I will award you credit, I think it was 2 days, right?
Yes.
Credit for 2 days served plus equal good time credit. And I will suspend the remaining portion of that sentence on probation at a level of supervision deemed appropriate by the probation department. Concurrent to count 2 and count 1, domestic battery is a class A misdemeanor. The court will sentence the defendant to 360 days at the Indiana Department of Correction. The court will award the defendant credit for 2 days served plus equal good time credit, and will suspend the remaining portion of that sentence on probation at a level deemed appropriate. Concurrent to counts 1 and 2 and count 3, battery as a class A misdemeanor, the court will sentence the defendant to 360 days at the Indiana Department of Correction, credit for 2 days served plus equal good time credit, remainder suspended on probation at a level of supervision deemed appropriate. In both counts 4 and 5, 4 is battery is a class B misdemeanor, count 5 is criminal recklessness is a class B misdemeanor. The court will sentence the defendant to concurrent terms of 180 days at the Indiana Department of Correction with credit for 2 days served plus equal good time credit. The remainder is suspended on probation at a level deemed appropriate. Just to summarize, because these are all concurrent terms, it's a total sentence of 540 days minus the 2 days credit plus equal good time credit, and the remainder is suspended on probation. Mr. Melendez, I will order that you participate in any programming or treatment that probation believes will benefit you. I will, actually, let me ask, is the state requesting a no contact order on any of these counts?
No, Your Honor.
The court will decline to impose a no contact order. If there was a pretrial no contact order, it is dismissed. The court will order that the defendant submit to a DNA sample at his own expense. If he has a question, I can pause.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The court will make a domestic violence determination. Mr. Melendez, what that means for you is that you are prohibited from possessing firearms and ammunition, and it means that you may also have restrictions in parenting time with minor children. Do you understand that?
Yes.
The court will show that with respect to the felony cause of action, neglect of a dependent, that the defendant has the opportunity to earn misdemeanor treatment. The court will direct that probation in its discharge report advise whether or not the defendant has completed the terms of probation. In the event that the defendant has completed the terms of probation, the court will reduce that conviction to a Class A misdemeanor. The court will order that the defendant pay the mandatory court costs, which includes a $50 domestic violence fee. Mr. Melendez, are you paying child support?
No.
Are you providing any support to your child?
Every day. Yes.
Well, I'm talking about financial support.
Like giving Cassandra money?
That or buying your child things or?
Yes, I do. Yes.
I'm not giving her any money.
Okay, the court will decline to impose any additional court costs. The court will show that the appearance of the public defender's office is withdrawn. Any future hearing dates are vacated. And I'm just looking to see about a bond.
There's no.
Here we go.
No cops did. Yeah, the no contact orders are gone. Anything that you sign left the jail. But if she filed a protection order, I don't think she did. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, if there's a protection order in place, that remains in place, but Ms. Schweinsger, you said you don't know if there is one. I have no idea.
I don't believe there are.
Okay. All right, there was a cash bond that was posted. The court will order that that is released. Mr. Melendez, do I have your permission to apply that cash bond as a credit towards your outstanding court costs?
Yes.
The court will apply that cash bond as a credit towards the outstanding court costs. The court will show that judgment of conviction is entered. On count 1, domestic battery is a Class A misdemeanor.
They messed
Count 2,
around with
neglect
me.
of a dependent is a level 6 felony. Count 3, battery resulting in bodily injury is a Class A misdemeanor. Count 4, battery is a Class B misdemeanor. And count 5, criminal recklessness as a Class B misdemeanor. If there are any remaining counts, they are dismissed pursuant to the terms of the plea agreement. Ms. Schweinsger, is there anything else?
No, Judge.
Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Melendez, in just a moment, I'm going to have a piece of paper handed to you that needs to be taken up to the probation department. You're going to sign the terms of your placement on probation now. And you're going to be respectful, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Amy, they're building a new courtroom. She's going to be in a new courtroom in September, I think. We're almost at the end of this dark room.
I'm just gonna set you up for your first one. You go up there, they're gonna give you your appointment date.
I'm here live. That's not. I'm here live. That's not. I'm not a cat. I'm here live.
I can see that.
I'm not a cat.
I think if you click the up arrow next to
I'm
the
here live.
stop
I'm
video,
not- I'm not a
stop
cat.
video button.
I
I think if you click the up you'll see video settings. Video that stop video button. Video settings. Click the you'll see video settings. Video that you will see the video filtering settings. Click the video settings. Video that you will see the video filtering settings. Click the video settings.
I have no idea how that happened, guys. My other tab unmuted itself for some reason. All right, let's try this again. So Judge Ferguson, Kelly wanted to see this one. Judge Ferguson stopped streaming. I don't know why. I don't know if he started again, but I loved Judge Ferguson. I loved him with his tick and everything. But this was hilarious.
I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I can see that. I think if you click the up arrow next to the start video or stop video button at the bottom, you'll see video settings. And I believe in video settings, you will see the video filters option that you can turn off.
There we go.
There we go.
Second only to the wonderful username we had from that other guy. Thank you, Kelly. Okay. We're going to end with the same judge because she's great.
This is State of Indiana versus Kyle Reams, cause numbers 20D01 2409F61029 and 20D01 2412 F473. Mr. Reams, raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm under the pains and penalties of perjury the testimony that you provide to this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Please tell me your full name.
Kyle Lee Reams.
So I'm going to put out a video of her later today of an inmate going through the law about how she uses her power to bend him to her will. That's what he says to her. How do you think that's going to work out for him?
Thank you. The court shows that the defendant appears by video from the Elkhart County Correctional Facility and also by Attorney Chelsea Saracen, who's here in open court. The state of Indiana appears by DPA Anna Ridge, and I showed that we are set for sentencing. The probation department filed a pre-sentence investigation report on June 5th, 2025. Ms. Saracen, are there any corrections or additions?
Yes, Your Honor. On the cover page, it provides an address of Thornberry Road, but it is correctly listed everywhere else in the PSI as Thornberry Lane, so that may have just been a typographical error. But just in case, that would need to be corrected from road to lane. Other than that, we don't have any corrections.
Ms. Rich, does the state have any corrections or additions?
Nothing from the state.
Ms. Rich, the state is really going to have to sell me on this, why this is appropriate, because.
Your Honor, we do have a victim here who wants to address the court.
Okay, and do we want to have testimony from her first?
That's fine with me. I'll defer to Ms. Saracen as well. That's fine.
Okay, so what I'll have you do is I'll have you come up to the bench to be sworn in first, please. Yep, come on up. So raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm under the pains and penalties of perjury the testimony that you provide to this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to have a seat at the witness stand right over here, and I'll give you some further instruction here in just a sec. And what I would like for you to do is pull the microphone closer to you. It's a little clunky, but it will move. And Ms. Rich is going to ask you some questions. So Ms. Rich, you may go ahead and proceed with that.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
I think you already did this, but could you please tell us your name?
Brianna Loffman. And just, let's have her spell her name.
And let's spell it just to be safe.
Okay. B.
My son just stopped me from taking care of my stream. I was streaming. He's like, Mom. So I went off camera. I'm working hard here. I'm working hard. Mom, can you take me to work soon? Now, he works at Longhorn Steakhouse. I'm like, what do you mean soon? They don't open. They don't open for breakfast. He's like, I gotta be at work at 11 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock a.m. It's 6 a.m. And he stopped me from streaming. Mom, can you take me to work soon? I'm so tired of this. And but my daughter, by the way, she starts work tomorrow, full-time, a real job, a receptionist at a roofing company. Benefits, she's got health insurance, vision, dental, 401k, and a paycheck she's going to be bringing into this house. Imagine that. That's right, guys. Kids work if you make them.
Reanna. Laufman, Laughman.
And you and I again spoke very briefly before court today, and you mentioned that you were familiar with what the agreement was and what it entailed, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you,
It was the
at this
koala.
point, kind of talk to us about your thoughts or feelings about the plea agreement and just kind of how things have ended up here?
Can I read what I?
Absolutely.
Okay. Sorry. I forgive Kyle for everything that's been done, and I had to forgive him because the hurt that I had was like bleeding on to other people in my life, people who didn't deserve it. I hope that Kyle can forgive himself, and I hope that he can get treatment so that he can heal. I don't think that he's ever had proper treatment for the alcohol issue. I hope that he can get that treatment so that none of this ever happens again and it doesn't bleed onto others. I know the sober Kyle, the good Kyle. He's a good person when he's sober, a very caring person. But I also know the Kyle who sometimes chooses to drink, and that's a completely different person. I hope that what happens is honest and fair, and he gets an honest, fair chance. He has children that he needs to go home to, children that are involved in my life as well. And I don't think that being institutionalized any longer than he needs to be without treatment is going to help.
It's kind of hard to watch this part because I need to get to the judge. When the judge speaks to him, oh my gosh.
He had a lot of trauma that I don't think was ever healed. I think that he needs treatment for that, and I think that he could move forward instead of choosing alcohol.
So, Ms. Laufman, what would you like to see happen in this case?
I don't think that I've forgiven what has happened. I don't think that he needs to be like sent away any longer than what you've already agreed to.
I know you and I talked a little bit beforehand, but we didn't get very far, unfortunately. Are you looking for any like restitution in this case or anything?
No.
And then we also talked briefly about a no contact order. Is that something that you are looking for in this case?
No.
Is there anything else that you want to let the judge know moving forward today about how this affected you or anything that you haven't shared yet?
No.
I have no other questions.
Ms. Saracen?
Ms. Laufman, the two of you don't have any children together, correct?
No, not together.
Okay. And the two of you are not in a relationship currently, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
All right, thank you, Ms. Luckman. You can go ahead and resume your seat in the audience. Thank you very much. All right, Ms. Harrison, you can go ahead and proceed on arguments on your client's behalf.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, it looks like he got emotional from her testimony.
As I believe was just referenced by Ms. Loffman, there is obviously a concern for his addiction to alcohol that is clearly throughout and most often a direct result of his criminal history. It is also clear from his PSI that that is something that runs in his family. He and I have had some pretty frank conversations about that. And that is something that he definitely wants help with, that he is aware that he needs help for. That is something that he was hoping to be able to go to something more like an inpatient treatment facility to get assistance with. But he understands and agrees that in light of the offenses in this particular case, that he needs to be held accountable for that. And so that is ultimately why he did agree to this plea agreement. It is a significant amount of time over his head for which he is either going to be successful and earn his way out and have an opportunity to show that he is serious about his sobriety, or he will be incarcerated for a very lengthy period of time, with the HBSO enhancement being back to back with counts 2 and 3. That case in and of itself being 8 years, and that being something that he has to earn his way out and step down after the 3 years in the Indiana Department of Correction.
Well, that's if he serves the full 3 years, which with the way that it's phrased, he probably won't. Right? And Ms. Saracen, I'm not hassling you. I just want to be clear. Okay. Because it does build in that he will be designated as purposely incarcerated, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But he is aware that he actually needs to go down and get the treatment, and that is also contingent on his overall conduct, and that is not something that is guaranteed. But as far as the overall amount of time and all that is riding on his getting sober, remaining sober, getting the treatment that he needs, and staying on top of it, either he is going to be successful or he is looking at a significant amount of time for which he is all going to be going to the Department of Correction. He's not going to be able to step his way down from DOC to alternative placement to probation. If he should fail, he is aware that all of that time can be revoked and be served at the Department of Correction. So how well he doesn't or does do, he is aware is entirely on him. And we do believe that this step down provides a very good incentive for him to stay sober and remain sober, having also a significant amount of time that he's going to be on a higher level of supervision with community corrections, and then followed by probation. He and I have also discussed.
I married them.
The difference between a no contact order and an exclusion zone, and he is aware of that being a requirement on community corrections and being built in as well, regardless of what the court decides today. That is something that he is also going to have placed on him, and he'll need to abide by and be aware of. Otherwise, again, he's looking at going right back to the Department of Correction. I would agree that Kyle is a completely different person, very kind and respectful, and I have worked well with him since I've worked with him since being appointed, And I think that his being addicted to alcohol is extremely unfortunate. And he is being given this opportunity with this plea agreement to either get help and get treatment or go to the Department of Correction. So we do believe that this is appropriate, especially as structured, and we would ask that the court accept it and sentence him accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reams. Is there anything that you'd like to say on your own behalf?
I expect responsibility for all my choices, and I'm ready to get the help I need so I can fix it.
Thank you. Arguments from the state?
Thank you, Your Honor. Throughout the exchange of discovery in the F4 case, the state was made aware that defense had evidence and witnesses that were prepared to testify that Mr. Reams was invited over to the residence. So while he did break down an interior bathroom door and significantly hurt the victim who was already in the house, so the state became increasingly concerned about its ability to prove that F4 burglary charge. Looking at everything in total, it was the state's belief that the criminal history is almost entirely substance and alcohol related, so the plea was crafted with that in mind as well. So overall, it is about an 11-year sentence. There is a step-down approach. There is a stringent level of supervision that gradually subsides. So while the agreement is very beneficial to Mr. Reams, there was a lot of thought put into it. We acknowledge that it is favorable, and if the court does reject the plea agreement, we would understand why. But the state is asking the court to accept the plea agreement and sentence accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rich. As far as the burglary charge being dismissed, when I read the probable cause affidavit, I wondered where the burglary came from. So I'm not completely surprised that that charge is being dismissed. So that's not the part of the plea agreement that is problematic from the court's perspective. Mr. Reams, I'm certain that you probably would fall somewhere on the spectrum of having a substance use disorder as it relates to alcohol. So I understand that that probably is in existence. The problem and the concern that I have with that is when you wait for the court to address it versus addressing it on your own, it limits the options that I have available to me. So you have previously been convicted of 3 separate operating while intoxicated charges. You also have been convicted for leaving the scene of a crash resulting in the death of your friend, which is separate from those 3.
Leaving the scene of a crash that resulted in the death of your friend.
Probable cause affidavit, I can only imagine how a jury would view if it would come before the jury where you were, or certainly would be an argument for sentencing later, bragging about getting away with killing your friend. That certainly was, it was really troubling to read that. While I agree that there are many people who come before this court who present themselves in very different ways when they are under the influence of substances versus when they are not, the alcohol is not an excuse for this behavior. It might explain why you are acting that way because your inhibitions are lowered and causes those things that are already there to come out because you've lost the ability to control that from coming out. Ms. Laughlin, your comments are so appropriate, and I really appreciate what you had to say here today as far as forgiving Mr. Reams, and I think that for your sake, that's the right thing to do. And because if you don't, you're right, it bleeds onto other people, and it's really difficult to not have that affect those around you, especially your children. So I think that was very well put and helps the court understanding where you're at. The difficulty that I have is that I think because you are a nice person and a forgiving person, this might make you particularly vulnerable to this kind of behavior. The level of strangulation in reading about the injuries that the officers observed, you're very fortunate that he didn't kill you. And I don't think enough people understand and appreciate the danger of strangulation and how seriously that needs to be taken. But the other thing too that I'm looking at is this happened on Christmas Eve. And, I think about how important it was for me growing up as a kid, Christmas, and for my kids, how important that is. And those kids were there for Christmas. And whether they move past it or not, they're always going to remember that. That's always going to be part of their Christmas memories. And that, as a mom, it broke my heart to read that. Ms. Luckman, he blames you for part of this. He says that you were putting your hands on him and that you were abusive. I see you're shaking your head no, and I don't have any reason to believe that. I think that what I'm just really trying to encourage you to do is just be careful about in the future, just protect yourself, and more importantly, protect your kids. And I have no reason to believe that you ever intended for any of this to happen. And I hope it was a valuable lesson learned for you in the situation. So, Mr. Reams, the concern that I have overall with saying all of this is what kind of a risk do you pose to either people who are in relationships with you or the community at large? Because you have yet to take control of your own life and your own behavior. You've apparently waited until somebody else does that for you. And this is an awful long time to be on community-based supervision. And even with some safeguards in place, one of the things that I often say, I think I said it this morning in a case, is how badly do you have to violate the terms of your placement? Kill somebody? Because you have demonstrated in a couple of different ways that you're capable of that kind of behavior, either from directly putting your hands on somebody or for not giving a rip about who you risk endangering in the community. So the likelihood of you being at the Department of Correction on the front end of this is you're probably not going to be there for very long. And I'm just concerned about the safeguards that are put in place to keep you from offending. So I just don't think that this is stringent enough to protect the community. So I will, based upon the court's concerns with the risk that Mr. Reams poses to the community, and I forgot to point out the fact that his ODERA score was 8. Mr. Reams, I've said this a number of times also, I've had at least one person in this court who has killed somebody who's had a lower number than what you had. You are concerning. So I'm going to reject the plea agreement. I will reinstate the defendant's plea of not guilty in both causes of action, and I will set these matters over for further proceedings. Ms. Saracen, when would you like to come back?
Your Honor, I guess if you could set this out approximately 30 days with an attorney conference in the interim.
Sure. How about July 21st at 1:30?
That would be fine.
Is that acceptable to the state?
It is.
The court will set these causes of action for a change of plea hearing on July 21st, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. The court will show that the delay is chargeable to the defendant for purposes of Criminal Rule 4. And as far as an attorney conference is concerned, Ms. Saracen, I hope you're going to take some time off in July.
It depends.
Okay, so if I set the attorney conference for July 9th at 1 p.m.
That would be fine.
Does that work for the state?
It does.
So I'll set an attorney conference for July 9th at 1 p.m. Mr. Reams, Ms. Saracen will be in touch with you to give you an update and talk about your options. Is there anything further, counsel?
No, thank you.
That will conclude the proceedings.
Wow. Good job, Judge. It's nice to see a good judge that does a good job. Around 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or 4:45. It depends how my thumbnail works out. You guys don't even know how I struggle with those damn thumbnails every morning. I hate them. I hate thumbnails. Hi, Walter. So yeah, we're 30-ish. We're gonna see more of her because she's just so good. She does not stream every day. She's not someone I can just get every day. I can only get her when I get her, and she does a lot of trials. So I know they're not everybody's favorite thing. But sentencings, yep. We can do sentencings. We can let her do the trials and then come in for the sentencings because those are great. All right, time for OJ. Woo, 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 woo. Thank you for coming out, guys. I need to go buy a brown onesie suit. Apparently, I need to go buy one of those. I'm going to kill this cat. All right. I need to kill a cat. And then I'm going to start OJ. See you guys later. Bye. Thank you.
Got these life echoes, digital dreams. Through the screen, her blue eyes gleam. Wicked humor, sharp as a knife. Her stream sparks electric light. Late night when the world sleeps, she's the friend that always keeps. Giggles roll like thunder loud. She stands out in any crowd. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor dark and twisted sharp. In a way, there's no alarm. Freedom tales late into the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Her eyes hear a sky so blue. In her jokes, there's a truth so true. With extreme, she brings the light. Turns dark days into bright. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor dark and twisted sharp. In a way, there's no alarm. Streaming tales late into the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Kathy's laugh